Hey guys, what's going on? Hello and welcome to Cereal at Midnight. I'm Heath and it's Imprint time, you guys. This is the latest batch of Imprint titles that have just hit my mailbox, seriously, about an hour ago. The only thing I've done, I unwrapped everything. I popped it into my Region A locked player to see, just to make sure it played okay, because I like to say every Imprint title is played perfectly fine on my Region A locked player. These are no exception. And I wanted to take some notes on the special features because there's a lot of really great new things here. A feature-length documentary is included here. There's a ton of new interviews here, and I wanted to get running times and things like that. So I've got some notes. Reviews for these titles will always show up at CerealAtMidnite.com. And thanks to all of you that go to CerealAtMidnite.com regularly to check out the new reviews that hit each week. We continue to be a source, your source for Imprint coverage, complete Imprint coverage. We have covered every single Imprint title released to date. There they are, 2 shelves worth of Imprint, Imprint movies, Imprint television, and I'm really proud of that coverage, that I can say every Imprint title. We're talking about number 146 here. We've talked about all of them in videos. So there's a playlist. This will join that playlist, and again, the movie reviews themselves go to CerealAtMidnite.com. This batch is mixed. There's some stuff that I'm familiar with and that I love, and there's some stuff that I either don't remember or I haven't seen before. So it's going to be a mix of discovery and old favorites for me. That's what I love about Imprint, is they really serve just like the film fan, like your old favorites, stuff that you may never have seen but you should. Like this. Let's talk about the directed by Jim Sheridan. This is a Jim Sheridan box set. 4 films. Daniel Day-Lewis is in most of them. My Left Foot, The Field, In the Name of the Father, and The Boxer. I think most of us became aware of Daniel Day-Lewis with My Left Foot. I remember being a young, burgeoning cinephile, and being, there's so much buzz around My Left Foot and Daniel Day-Lewis in that role. And I think that's the first time I had ever heard of him. And, would follow him through the 90s and everything. This was attached to the back of the box. This came with it, and it's not attached anymore. It unstuck itself. So get a freeze frame of that. Hopefully you can see that. Now let's talk about what's included here. I'll give you a rundown of the special features here, what you need to know. So here's My Left Foot. It's the front of the package. Let me get my notes out of here. Front of the package, back of the package. Yeah, I'll freeze frame that if you want to. Hold on. Wait. All right, so this has, all of these have new interviews with Jim Sheridan about the movies. So I'll name them each time, but we have a new audio commentary, 2022 audio commentary with Brian Reisman. Jim Sheridan on My Left Foot, that's 2022. That runs 21 minutes and 59 seconds. We have an inspirational story, The Making of My Left Foot. That is not new. It runs 10 minutes and 12 seconds. And The Real Christy Brown is a featurette that runs 4 minutes and 40 seconds. We move on to The Field. Get my notes out of here. The Field stars Richard Harris. He's probably thinking about MacArthur Park in this. He's like, it's not like MacArthur Park. Does anyone get that joke? Hey, are we in a world where more people know Richard Harris as Dumbledore #1 than other, like his 60s and Unforgiven? That's another good one. Anyway, Richard Harris, John Hurt. So here's the front. Here's the back. Freeze it. And included here is audio commentary, new audio commentary by film historian Scott Harrison. Jim Sheridan talking about The Field, which runs 3 minutes and 46 seconds. And In the Shadow of the Bull, The Making of The Field. That's a documentary that runs 45 minutes and 28 seconds. It's copyright 2021, but I'm guessing that that's new for this release. 45-minute documentary about the making of The Field. So that is awesome. I love this. I mean, I love documentary stuff. Here's what I guess I'm trying to say is, we talk about this a lot, like just the fluffy special features that you just blow on them, dandelions, and they're gone. They're like cotton candy. You like, taste good, and it's immediately gone. You learn nothing. You've seen nothing. This is not like that. These documentaries really, they're great. In the Name of the Father. Get my notes out of here. So this is hold up there. I'll freeze it. Pete Postlethwaite. Let's see. Audio commentary by Brian Reisman, 2022. Jim Sheridan on In the Name of the Father. That runs 15 minutes and 30 seconds. We have an archival interview with Daniel Day-Lewis that looks like it was from television, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Same TV show, same interviewer, I believe, talking to Pete Postlethwaite. It is Postlethwaite. That's 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Pete Postlethwaite, also great in The Usual Suspects, which is coming to 4K, right? Any day now. The Boxer. This is the last film in the collection. If I can get my notes out of here. All right, so here's the fronts of the box. Hopefully that shows up for you guys. All right, we have audio commentary by director Jim Sheridan. Audio commentary by producer Arthur Lappin. Director Jim Sheridan on The Boxer, that's 2022, and runs 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Archival interview with actress Emily Watson runs 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Fighting for Peace, Inside the Boxer. That is the vintage Universal, and this was released in 1998 from Universal Pictures Home Entertainment, and they had a 23 minutes documentary piece about the film, and so that's here too. So you're getting all the vintage special features plus a bunch of new stuff. So looks like a wonderful box set. I cannot wait to dig in and explore it. But we got a lot more ground to cover here, you guys. So let's move on to, let's see, I want to do these chronologically. 142, The Music of Chance, a movie I've never seen, but I'm super interested in it. James Spader, Mandy Patinkin, Inigo Montoya, You Come My Father, Prepared to Die, but of course he's a very... I saw Mandy Patinkin, Patinkin? I saw him on a news show about 2 years ago, maybe? It was maybe CBS Sunday Morning, possibly. And they asked him a question about something. I think he had exhibited some bad behavior, like a temper tantrum or something, or like he'd walked off set or something. And they asked him about it. And they said, what do you think about so-and-so? And he was like... And he just held for like 30 seconds. And they didn't edit it. They just let it roll. And then he was like, I think that, so like he was really thinking about, so that's always a sign of like someone who's really smart, really internal. And it's just like, oh yeah. So it's funny that like Inigo Montoya is this thing that he's famous for when he's such a cerebral stage, he's a thespian. He's a thespian. He's one of those guys. Emmett Walsh, Charles Durning, Joel Grey, Samantha Mathis, Christopher Penn. This is directed by Philip Haas, and it's 1993, and I'm really, really excited to discover this for the first time, because this is my vintage. This is my era of crime movie, or however you want to define this. The premise: a man with an inheritance drives cross-country and befriends a professional gambler who he funds in a poker game against two crafty millionaires. When the gambler loses big, there are unforeseen and bizarre consequences for both. That sounds great. That's my kind of thing. So many original ideas. We were just talking about this in my last video that went up, talking about just like everything's a remake now. None of this stuff is remakes. This is all original ideas, and we're getting further and further from original ideas. Yes, you will always be able to point to some original ideas and be like, well, there they are. But there was a time when all of this stuff, like films were the voice of an auteur. They were the voice of creative people that wanted to get these things across, get these ideas across. And we're getting further away from it. And now we're just in tentpole blockbuster land. And even the stuff that goes straight to streaming, like it has to fit a mold. So I love this. This is when I get excited about Imprint or any of the labels that we talk about. That's where the passion is coming from. Because I've lived through better days, and I've seen these movies that were like, you're like, oh, you get a feel for who the creators of the movie by the story itself and by how it's shot and edited and the actors and everything. So that's what some of you guys are like, just your passion bleeds through. Yeah, it's like it is So it's like James Spader. That is James Spader, right? Such a I gotta see this movie. So we have new audio commentary by critic A.S. Hamra, Chance and Destiny, video essay by film scholar Adrian Martin, and film critic Christina Alvarez Lopez. That runs 11 minutes and 25 seconds. A Character at a Time, interview with actor Joel Grey. That's new. It's 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Defining the Character, an interview with actor Emmett Walsh. That's 2022. That's 5 minutes and 35 seconds. And Music for Misguided Tasks, interview with composer Philip Johnston. Also new, 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Great stuff. The Beast, appropriately titled The Beast. So this movie is it's 1988. It's directed by Kevin Reynolds, who would, in the 90s, come to define a different kind of movie. So Kevin Reynolds is the guy that was at the helm of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner, and then Waterworld, also with Kevin Costner, and then was kind of a falling out. So many great movies, but this is early in the Kevin Reynolds oeuvre. My little cheat sheet just slipped. My notes. It's not a cheat sheet. It's my notes. Just slipped down in the case. So this is a movie about tank warfare, basically. Afghanistan, 1981. I'll hold this up. The Soviet Union is locked in a futile and bloody battle with the Mujahideen guerrillas separated from the patrol. The crew of a Russian T-62 tank, so much of this stuff is in the news right now, engages in a deadly game of cat and mouse with the local insurgents. So we've got George Dzunda, that's how you pronounce his name, Jason Patric, Lost Boys, Stephen Bauer, and Stephen Baldwin. Here, front of the package, back of the package. There's a new audio commentary with author David J. Moore, and a feature-length documentary from Daniel Griffith's Ballyhoo Motion Pictures about the Beast. Now, I say feature-length. It's over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 2 minutes. For me, if you've seen Daniel Griffith's, I love his special features. We're going to talk about more of his features in just a second. I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm proud that I get to talk to him about the stuff that he's working on sometimes, because I get so when he's involved, I know so much of his passion. This is the guy that had the documentary on Arrow's Blu-ray for Waterworld about Kevin Reynolds, right? So this is his second Kevin Reynolds documentary. Are more in the making? I don't know. So it's like he's continuing. This is another part of the story, another part of the Kevin Reynolds story by the guy who's been telling the Kevin Reynolds story. I'm getting excited. You see, I'm getting fired up now. 2 hours and 2 minutes. He's talked to so many people associated with the production. The executive producer. We talking to the director. I cannot champion this enough. I just think this is great. So the Ballyhoo documentary about that's on the Total Recall. It's the 4K. Is it on the Blu-ray too? About Carolco, is like they could sell these documentaries on their own. I talked to Daniel Griffith a couple of years ago it was after he'd done the Waterworld documentary, and he was like, they're called special features and they're marketed as special features, but I don't think of them as special features. They're feature films for me. Like he's like, I put everything into these. And they really are. Like, these things could stand on their own. They're not supplementary. It is supplementary to this package, but you could sell the documentary about the Beast inside the Beast. Here it is. You could sell that by itself because they're that comprehensive. I don't know. I think that's a major selling point, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because a 2 hour and 2 minute documentary, is that longer than the movie? How long? It is. The movie is an hour and 50 minutes. The making of is longer than the movie. It's amazing. Another thing that is amazing is Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. I have been championing this movie for like 95? I don't know if I saw it right in 95. It might have been 96 when it hit video. But like 25 years. Let's say that. I've been championing this movie. Andy Garcia, the cast on this, you guys. Where's the cast? Let's see. Film by Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Marty, but not a funny role at all. Dark, sad, dramatic role. William Forsythe, Bill Nunn, Treat Williams, Jack Warden, Steve Buscemi, Fairuza Balk, and Andy Garcia. Gabrielle Anwar, Christopher Walken. It's got Christopher Walken in it. Before he was a darling for all the independent movies, he was just sort of an independent guy, popping up in movies like Things to Do in Denver, When You're Dead. Love this movie, and I've been championing it for so long. And but the negative thing that I hear about this movie is like people that haven't seen it or that want to be like the cool guy say that, oh, well, it's just a Tarantino knockoff. This movie did probably come through the door that Tarantino opened, but Tarantino didn't open that door by himself. Tarantino started a trend, and all the studios were looking for films that could fit a certain template. They were looking for crime movies. They were looking for quirky character movies. They were looking for ensemble cast movies. This fit the bill. There were a lot of movies that came up in that time, and they're not Tarantino. Some of them are, and you can usually spot them because they have foul-mouthed characters and it's like these real weird, quirky things. Some of them are, but there are a lot of really interesting things that came out of that era, the new Hollywood of the 90s, the second coming of new Hollywood, where it's easier to tell a crime story because you don't have to have a lot of special effects. I'm thinking of Hard 8, which is another Imprint release that if you haven't seen, you got to see Hard 8. It's easier to tell a crime story because you can just go make one. You just go make it. So anyway, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, amazing movie, and Andy Garcia is great. And guess what? We get to hear a lot from Andy Garcia because here's our alternate artwork. Show you the inside of the case. So Things to Write in Denver When You're Dead. There's an interview with the screenwriter. It's brand. By the way, these special features come from Ballyhoo. This is Daniel Griffith, the same guy from The Beast, the same guy from that epic Waterworld release. There's someone who continues to tell. I'm just going to tell you, David Sterling. Every time I talk to David Sterling, he's like, I just love that Waterworld video you did. It's one of the best things you've ever done. He loves the Waterworld video because I love the Waterworld Blu-ray, and it's the Blu-ray, right? Because there is a 4K, but it's the Blu-ray that has the Ballyhoo documentary on it. So the interview with the screenwriter is 16 minutes. There's a new interview with the director, which is 17 minutes and 42 seconds. There's a new interview with Andy Garcia. I got excited about that one. 19 minutes and 21 seconds. There's a new interview with the production designer, Nelson Coates, which is 23 minutes and 21 seconds. Hold on. So there's a half an hour. There's over an hour of brand new Ballyhoo features about Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. For someone who's been championing this movie for as long as I have, this feels like justification. This feels like righteousness. I am righteous. I am righteous. So check it out. And if you do, let me know what you think about it because I want to know. Check it out. Paul Newman, Nobody's Fool. This is a great Paul Newman. This is one I haven't seen in a long time. And honestly, I guess I kind of forgot that it existed. But it's a great 90s, 94, I want to say. Yeah, 1994. Melanie Griffith is in this. Jessica Tandy is in this. It's got music by Howard Shore. What is the best older Paul Newman role? It's interesting because that was the conversation at the time. Is like, worn to perfection is one tagline, and older doesn't mean wiser. Doesn't always mean wiser because he's kind of a rough around the edges character. And for a long time, I think he even won an award for this. But for a long time, this was like, oh, this is like peak older Newman. And then he did Road to Perdition, and that was kind of like, that was kind of like dropping the mic on his way out the door because that movie is amazing. But this one is really, really good. And so here, here's the front. Here's the back. A likable working stiff who's made a lifetime of bad decisions is given an unexpected chance to make right on some of them when his estranged son and grandson drop into his life. So we've got audio commentary by film historian Jim Hemphill. We've got Nobody's Fool. That's 2022. That's new. Nobody's Fool, a conversation with actress Catherine Dent. That's new. That's 16 minutes and 2 seconds. The Origins of Nobody's Fool. That's a conversation with writer Richard Russo. That's new. That's 22 minutes and 38 seconds. And Somebody's somebody's spool interview with editor John Bloom. You see what they did there? Spool editor. The John Bloom interview is 22 minutes and 58 seconds. So about an hour of new footage, of new interview footage, new supplementary footage for Nobody's Fool, and that is not counting the commentary too. So this is the inside. All right, and last, but definitely not least, last and most controversial, that's for sure. I'm probably not even, I'm just going to let you read this because Google, I don't want to deal with, Google owns YouTube. They don't like certain things. So I'm just going to let you read this. This is a Ken Russell film. I can't believe this is on Blu-ray. I can't believe it. So tons of new stuff here. Here's the front of the box. Here's the back of the box. So, get my notes here. Oh, I know this is probably one of the reasons that I make these. Maybe you're like, well, Heath, why are you making this video an hour after these arrived in your mailbox and not, you know, in a couple of weeks or after you've watched all the movies? Because these sell out so fast, and I'm expecting this to be gone. And here's another thing. These come from Australia, so they take like 3 weeks to get to me, sometimes more than that. So I don't have the luxury of like, you know, I want you to know about them as soon as you can so you can make a smart, informed decision. And sometimes people comment and they're like, well, you know, I hear everything, right? I make these videos so you see what's coming out and you can make an informed decision. I just want to give you the information. That's my goal with these. I'm happy to do it. I love this. Obviously, I love this stuff, right? So we have a audio commentary by film critics Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson. That's new. Artist interview with actress Teresa Russell. Runs 13 minutes and 14 seconds. Dignity, an interview with actress Ginger Lynn Allen. Runs 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Raw, interview with writer Deborah Dalton. That's new as well. All these are new. That's 12 minutes and 9 seconds. Provocateur, X-rated auteur Bruce LaBruce on Ken Russell's this movie. That is 12 minutes and 13 seconds. And then we have a video essay from Kat Ellinger, Legitimate and Illegitimate Women in Ken Russell's, which is 28 minutes and 41 seconds. So tons of, well, that's well over an hour, right? Let's see, 28 minutes, 12, 12, 8, 13. I say sometimes that we're living in the age of wonders. Like this is, I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't take it for granted, but things like this really just get me fired up because as long as I've been a movie fan, you know, 30 years, I've been a diehard cinephile. Like it was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves in 1991. That's Kevin Reynolds, going back to Kevin Reynolds again. That is the movie where, like, I had seen movies all my life, right? Gone to the theater to see movies. I was in the theater for Empire Strikes Back in 1980. Movies are just in my blood, right? But it was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, where I was like, oh, actors, the writing, the dialogue, that shot composition, interesting. They come up and then they go over, where I just started to pay attention to everything. So over 30 years of like diehard film fandom, I've never seen anything like this. I haven't. I've never seen what we're experiencing right now. I'm loving it. And again, I don't know how long it's going to last. So I'm just enjoying it. And I know so many of you guys are too. There is always going to be negativity in the community. There's always going to be people complaining loudly about things. But if you step back and you just look at what we have, yeah, you have to buy it, right? Like, I mean, and you're not obligated to buy it. You have a choice if you want to buy this stuff. What an opportunity that no other era of film fandom has had before. This stuff is being restored beautifully, deep supplemental packages, and I cannot think of a time that was more just open, more beneficial to film fandom than right now. We have everything at our fingertips. And it's a great time to be enjoying this stuff. I know so many of you guys feel the exact same way. Thanks for checking this video out. If you head over to Imprint, if you get a chance to let them know that you saw this coverage and you enjoyed it and you think that, you know, what you think of this coverage, I would appreciate you letting them know however you can. I want them to know that I'm representing I think they see these videos, but I want them to hear from you if you can let them know that you appreciate this coverage and the depth of it and what I bring to the table. I'm bringing just myself. My authenticity is what I'm trying to bring to the table here, just sharing it with you. Thank you. Thank you for checking this out. Thanks to Imprint for sending this stuff over to me so I could share it with you in the first place. Talk about gratitude. What something to be grateful for. All right, guys, thanks so much. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.